Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life and a crazy life that is cryptocurrency. What is going on, guys? Oh my goodness, what is that there? I just wanted to shoot a quick video this morning. Had an interesting discussion with some other crypto enthusiasts about a video that SPI Media did the other day. It was called the Liberty Reserve, Part 1, Part 2. You definitely want to go check it out. Those guys are awesome with the stuff that they bring, and I love their ideas and their perspectives on different things that they take. I think it's brilliant and genius. But so they're talking about this thing called the Liberty Reserve. Now, I had never heard of it before. This is why I love YouTube and I love the internet. I had never heard of it, but apparently the Liberty Reserve, check it out, Google it. You can Google Liberty Reserve, you can Google Liberty Reserve Explained. And apparently what this was a online payment transfer service that was created in 2001, digital currency in 2001 by a Ukrainian Russian, for transfer money around all over the world. 800,000 to 900,000 users in 2001, digital currency. And essentially the video from SPI Media was explaining how in 2011, the United States government via the FBI went in to investigate this company. And they wanted to get access to, they wanted to get more informed. They wanted this guy, who again was Russian, I believe operating or maybe living in Holland, and I think the business was actually operating out of Costa Rica. Correct me in the comments if I'm not right about that. And they wanted access to his code. This is, right, they wanted access, this was this was going on since 2001. They got wind of it in 2011 apparently, and went in there to check out this guy's code. He said no, he would not give them access to the source code, because he said that it was like, you know, Coca-Cola giving up their secret ingredient for Coke, for their Coca-Cola. And here's the thing that I think is interesting. 2011, this happens. This dude said no. 2012, the company Ripple is formed. 2013, the United States government prosecutes this guy for money laundering, and also apparently went after him because he had gave up his U.S. citizenship and moved to Holland, I believe. So he gave up his citizenship, and so they were in this, obviously, in court, saying that maybe he was a traitor in some way, shape, form, or fashion. He said that they came after him because the United States government did not want to give up. This is all online that you can read. Their monopoly on the payment transfer system worldwide, right? And so, like a lot of people, I read in one of the comments from the SPI Media's on the YouTube comments saying, and it was from their other set of videos that they did, I think the following day, on trading, and they had, I think XP Ninja on there, XRP Ninja or something like that. And the guy in the comments said, yeah, I love this trading stuff. Yeah, this is awesome. That Liberty Reserve stuff, yeah, I don't know. I can't see us doing that type of deal. And I just wanted to comment on that. That's why I made the video. The Liberty Reserve thing, to me, again, check out the video, Part 1 and Part 2, is very, very believable to me. Now, I would have to say about 4 months ago, that probably was not believable to me, until I got educated on I say some kind of realities. And I'm gonna give you a book for you guys to check out and read, because I think the most important thing that we can do is to become better informed, more educated on the reality of things. So there's this book out there. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's called The Confessions of an Economic Hitman. EHM, they call them EHMs. The Confessions of an Economic Hitman. It's a great read. And there's also he wrote another one called the new Confessions of an Economic Hitman. But you want to check those out, and you want to check the author out, and you want to listen to how he was able to get away with writing this book. Very, very interesting story. But you definitely want to check it out. It will make sense to you. This whole Liberty Reserve thing will make sense to you, and the idea that it's possible, and how it all works. Like, once you understand that, once you kind of understand that concept of the global empire, and once you get that, this Liberty Reserve thing will be like, oh yeah, of course that happened. Of course the FBI went and checked this guy out in 2011. Of course they went after him in 2013. It'll all make sense. Now, the people from SPI Media is suggesting in a roundabout way that Ripple, the company, is U.S. government, right? That's what they're suggesting. U.S. government owned or backed or led or started or created, whatever you want to say. Again, for me, that's not, something that I would say is impossible by any stretch, of any means, any way at all. Like, I don't, for me, again, because I've read some books, I could see that being possible, right? I could see that, just because I got more informed and better educated about the reality of what's really going on. But I've always said in my videos that I believe that XRP, that digital asset that's is run by a company from the United States, is always been, it's in my opinion, it's our ace in the hole in the global economic framework. So in this global economic crisis that we're in, I believe for the U.S., that is our ace in the hole. I believe that 100%. 100%. Now, on this particular videos that they did, the Liberty Reserve, part 1 and part 2, they had this guy on there called Great Gatsby. Seems like a smart guy. From the U.S., I believe his background is in real estate. But he has suggested that, the thing that XRP kind of provides, obviously, is this liquidity. But his idea, his theory is that, that this was, the purchase and the purchase of XRP, has been taking place by these major institutions for 0.5 cent or less. And what XRP is going to allow them to do, obviously we know about freeing up the nostro vostro, but it's going to allow them to take in fiat dollar and take in this fiat dollar, but using a 0.5 cent asset that was created and giving them more bang for the buck, having their money, that deep fiat currency, go further, because if freeing up, having that dollar and being able to make loans, do other different things, but you're doing it in a way that you have this asset that allows you to do it, that you spent 0.5 penny on, if that makes sense. You're getting dollars, and you right, so $1 to 0.5 cent, right? So that puts the institutions and the banks ahead in the game. So that's an interesting theory. It makes sense to me, but my point to this whole video is really, if you don't believe a thing like the Liberty Reserve can happen, go get on Amazon and get yourself that book, The Confessions of an Economic Hitman. It's an eye opener. But I think it's important for us to have our eyes open on the reality of what's going on. So what does this all mean for us, those of us in the XRP community who are holders of XRP? It means that, we got some pretty powerful people wanting to make sure that this whole XRP thing works. And the only way that it works is for it to be valued extremely high. 3-4 digits, in my opinion. 4 digits is a minimum, in my opinion. In my opinion. So $1,000 per XRP, in my opinion, is very, very doable, is going to happen without question. Because I believe that the narrative in mainstream media will be how this digital asset is freeing up all this money and helping to either put off the economic doom or to be the answer to the global economic doom that is inevitable. That's my opinion. And that will be the narrative. And so we're going to say, the guy in the barbershop is going to be, okay, $1,000 per. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes sense because, man, this has helped solve the issue. This has helped worldwide. This is helping the global economic crisis. People won't have a problem with it being $1,000. Like none. Even the people in the digital asset space will be like, okay, yeah. It makes sense. And so that's that's kind of like the ace in the hole. But again, if you don't believe that the thing like the Liberty Reserve can happen, go check out those books, guys. I would love to hear if anybody has ever read that book. I got turned on it from a very, very smart guy in the digital asset space. He has a YouTube channel called Data Dash. That's how I got turned on to it, right? Because I think it's important to understand the realities of what's going on. I think it's important. So this Gatsby guy on this Liberty Reserve Part 1 and Part 2, he gets into Bitcoin and what the manipulation with Bitcoin and XRP longs. And again, makes great sense. Great sense. And essentially he is saying that they are leveraging Bitcoin, putting it into XRP longs so they can get more Bitcoins, right? More sats, as he kept saying, more Satoshis, better value, getting more Bitcoin so that the value and the BTC, USD, gives them more money. And you've got to check it out. Check out the videos. But it makes perfectly good sense. And what they're ultimately trying to do, which is get more Bitcoin. And they're leveraging XRP as a way to do it. Or they're taking advantage of the XRP longs to get more Bitcoin. So they can kind of drive and manipulate the price of Bitcoin in either direction using the XRP longs. In either direction. So very interesting. It makes perfectly good sense. But the ultimate goal behind the manipulation, and this is what's important, because he said you can do it with any digital asset, but Bitcoin is the leverage. The ultimate goal of this manipulation, he believes, and it makes sense to me, is to have as much, to get their bags full, essentially, in as many digital assets as possible to prepare for the run-up that's going to take place in the market with all this institutional money and stuff that's going to come in. And when, because the way it's going to work, Wall Street's going to come in, and then the average Jane and Joe's are going to be, okay, now it's our turn to come in because, Wall Street's in. All right, don't forget, guys, we're early in this game. Don't forget that. We're early. And we're the courageous ones. We're the one we're following our guts. We're out there taking a chance, especially the people out there that were in this thing in 2011, 2012, 2013. We're betting on it. We're betting it all in this digital asset space now, right? But there he's suggesting, Gatsby, this guy is called Gatsby, is suggesting that the whole ultimate goal of this manipulation is to fill the bags as much as possible, so that they have it at 50 cents and they know the run up is coming, and they're out, right? They got as much as humanly possible, so that when it's $2, $3, $5, $10, $15, or whatever digital asset it is, when the run up comes, they can cash in. And he's just suggesting this is how they're doing it, leveraging Bitcoin and using XRP longs as one digital asset to do that, getting more satoshis from the XRP longs, putting it back into Bitcoin, and just doing that kind of wash, rinse, repeat type of thing. And it makes perfectly good sense. So for us as holders, you got to follow the money, right? And so again, owning digital assets is just smart. It's smart because the run-up's coming. Run-up's coming, and that's what they're doing. They have an ability to manipulate the market in a way to do that. But the ultimate goal is to have more digital assets, increase the size of their bags. And so us as retail investors, we obviously, we can't play that, leverage game with Bitcoin and XRP longs. The vast majority of us are not going to be able to do that. I know I don't have the wherewithal to do it. But I can take that fiat dollar and get to the digital asset space. That I know. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. I can do that too. I can take my digital asset and participate in the greatest transfer of wealth in history of man. 100%. And they know it. That's why they're doing what they're doing. They're doing what they're doing because they know. They know this is where the money is. And it's massive, massive money. So I would ask you, what's your portfolio looking like? I'm a big guy in diversification. I believe that you want to be diversified in the digital asset space, because I believe ultimately we're going to have legislation that's been apparent, regulation is coming, and classification shortly thereafter. And I think there's going to be a classification, just like there's some precious metals, there's some other type of commodities, right? There's some sugars, there's some coffees, right? There's some uranium and palladium, there's some gold, there's some silvers, right? They're going to be classified. And I think some are going to be more profitable than others, but they're going to be profitable. They're going to be asset class, right? There's going to be classification. Cardano and EOS in one, and maybe with Ethereum, Bitcoin in one, XRP in one. I 100% believe that. Utility, probably some type of, best case, use case, utility, whatever it's going to be, there'll be some classifications. And so you got to just decide, in my humble opinion, you got to just decide, do you want all gold, or do you want some silver too? Right? If you understand what I'm saying. Right? Do you just, do you just want precious metals and nothing else? Do you just want digital assets and no precious metals? If you understand what I'm saying. And I think that digital asset space is going to be like that. They're going to classify it for different reasons, and they're going to put them in, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5 different, spots, categories, and you're going to have to decide. And it's going to be a value. Once that happens, there's going to be a values associated with them. I don't know what they call coffee and sugar and wheat, but I know it's a classification of its own. And I know that there are people making money with it. And that's what we'll do in the digital asset space. So I believe that's what's going to happen. And so ultimately, understand the game is my point. You have to know the game. In order to play it well, you got to understand the game. And part of understanding the game is getting educated financially, getting educated on things like the confessions of an economic hitman, and getting that. Right? We don't want to be with the guy with the head in the sand. You don't want to be that person. Because I believe ultimately it's just so much that we can do. And taking care of our family is one of those. Making sure that they're safe, making sure that they're taken care of financially. But you got to know the game. You got to know the game to be able to do that well. Just trading your time for dollars, like Jim Rohn likes to say, he says that's noble, right? Right? You know, paying the rent is noble. That's a noble thing to do, but it's not going to get you to that financial freedom, right? You got to learn. You got to learn to get some cash flow, right? You got to learn, you know, that there's some things to do after 5, right? 9 to 5 makes you a living. After 5 can get you wealthy, right? That's my mentor used to always teach me. So you got to learn that game. And here we are, dude. If you're a plumber, I mean, if you're the cable guy, right? You know, you have a chance to change the legacy of your faith, right? Generational changing because of the digital address space. Think about that. And they, the committee out there called they, can't stop you. They can't stop you, right? That's accredited, you know, investor stuff that the U.S. likes to pull. Digital asset space, you don't have to be an accredited investor. You may have to be one in some of these ICOs or even the STOs, but you don't have to be, right? You don't have to be an accredited investor to get on Coinbase Pro. You don't have to be an accredited investor, right? You don't have to be an accredited investor to put the Upload app on your phone. Robinhood, Uphold. You don't have to be. This is our chance, guys. This is our chance. So check that out, guys. I'm rambling. I wanted to make sure I pointed that video out to you guys. Definitely check it out. SPQR Media. The Liberty Reserve, Part 1 and Part 2. Check it out. Understand. Get a better understanding of the game so that you can play it well. Listen, guys. Never, ever, ever forget this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. What they want is for us to continue to remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to understand. They don't want us to participate in the playground where you allow your money to work for you. They don't want us to get that. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, guys. The battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.